Today is March 12th.
The looser you can get the soil.
He just started.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
The looser you can get the soil, the deeper you can get it, the more the roots will go into the ground and provide a good base for the plant to grow. And then when I get that dug out, I came out this morning and did some of this. It didn't take too long to do it all. I like to do the border around it for two reasons. Number one, you can build it up better and get it above the ground level. That helps with the drainage. Or you can have to, but it's not very good. You've got people that are doing backyard gardening need to do something like this. But, then I'll come in like that. And we had some last week. Brian got it.
The chicken.
It's about mostly chicken manure, it's decomposed.
Do they sell it in that?
No. That's why I asked Susan to get this is what I use some. It's called black cow. It's cow manure. That's what it is. Composted cow manure. Put about an inch or two in there. And I also put in a layer of peat moss. And the peat moss helps conserve water. It holds water. As sandy as our soils here are in Florida, anything you can use that will hold moisture, you're better off doing. And then I'll come in there and put in a layer of that.
What is peat moss?
It's literally composted peat. Peat's a bog material that grows in the swamps. It's compacted vegetables. And you'll get it in the bogs of Florida, Georgia, Carolina, Canada. But it grows in bogs and it composts, and you'll have people that specifically work it.
Your latest email is scary. I hope everyone writes. I'm going to.
My computer just is in the shop right now, so I don't know what it was.
Was it?
About the bill that they're trying to pass to
What's that?
do away with organic gardens, even if it's a backyard garden.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
They're
Monsanto.
calling it safety.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Monsanto.
Food and safety.
That's why.
Food Safety Act.
Food Safety and Modernization Act of 2009.
We need to write.
You have got to be kidding.
All our
And they said it's going to pass within 2 weeks unless...
Do they think we're that stupid? I guess they do.
Well, most of the bill is about safe food and handling and growing.
But that just was thrown in as a...
Right.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
say
yeah.
that it's so long and complicated to read that the senators and representatives don't read it. They just listen to what everybody else is
Yeah.
saying.
I'll put in a layer of peat
It's
moss.
sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's terrible.
depressing.
Oh, that is to me terrible because
And then start working the soil back in. If you get any weeds, you're going to... if you have like a St. Augustine grass base or something, dig that out first. Because St. Augustine will survive on anything.
So this garden is 3 by
This one's 3 by 8.
3 by 8. And have you ever used this size before? Or it's
Yeah,
just
you use whatever size you've got available. You know,
Yeah.
it depends on the shape of your yard, how much sun you've got. The first thing I do before I ever start in a garden is get a pencil and a piece of paper and go out in the backyard and observe the morning and afternoon sun all vegetables need a minimum of 6 hours of sun, with the exception of maybe some spinach and that sort of thing. Tomatoes, all that needs, most herbs need a minimum of 6 hours of sun a day. In Florida, it's probably best to at least have the morning sun. Late afternoon sun, it gets so hot sometimes in the summertime that it can cause the plants to deteriorate more rapidly than they would otherwise. But I'd get a pencil and piece of paper and lay out whatever size you want. It can be 10 by 10. I like them 3 or 4 feet wide. I don't have to get to step into the bed. If you have to, well, there you go. Sure you got
That's
that
what
on camera?
happens.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured you did.
We'll let it down.
If you have it more than 4 feet, you've got to step in. So 3 to 4 feet wide, depending on how long you want it. You can have 1 bed, 2 beds, half a dozen beds. You can run some this way, some this way. Probably if I were going to do another one, I'd do probably one this way. But you know, it's just a matter of whatever you want and what you've got to work with. The whole idea of backyard gardening is not to go to a great deal of expense, because and it's something you work into if you haven't done it. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes just a trial and error to get going good with backyard gardening.
Before you get too far off into the next area,
Okay.
and while we're on soil, can you like discuss, did you basically make a potting soil by doing this?
You can.
Is that what you kind of did, or not
Uh-huh.
exactly?
That's basically it. I don't, as a general rule, if I'm doing a pot, I don't use
The flower's gone.
yard soil.
I know.
I'll go
That day.
get a topsoil of some kind.
So like I got some samples today from a recycled I forget what they're called. It's a recycled place that makes mulches and potting soil and topsoil. Just to show you the differences, and they all kind of decompose into the next one the longer that they sit still.
Try and see what happens.
But if you want to feel them,
Did you buy?
you know, to see the differences.
You say they sit still, they don't turn them?
What's that?
I'm just
The
saying that,
composting,
Oh
the
yeah,
various
in the
stages.
process, no, you can't make compost without aerating. There's no way. But this is different materials that they use. I haven't had any experience with any of these, so I don't know which is this.
but feel
Oh,
them for their moisture content, and you know, that one is they call that compost. It's just ground up trees down to 3/4 inch.
And but with some added nutrients, the biggest problem with that, as I see it, is that there's very few nutrients in it. You've got to add a little nitrogen. I would add a little, like the compost here, or some of that black cow or something like that. It looks good otherwise.
Yeah, I was kind of comparing that one to peat moss.
Right. It looks very similar even to peat moss. This is the next step from that, really. It's a compost. You could do this in your backyard. We may end up doing a composting class some of these days. But compost is nothing more than organic matter combined with water and oxygen, basically, and to rot it. The longer it stays there, the more combination of moisture. You got to use green matter, dry matter, and it all just
Earthworms.
earthworms. You'll go out there one day and it'll be full of earthworms. Just they have a knack for finding.
Definitely.
Definitely, but first, number one is mulch 'em. Just don't put in a big oak leaf. Little oak leaf, you know, a live oak would be all right. I think it's better mulch. Also, you've got to add nitrogen. But
Yeah, that one is just topsoil, and then this one is a combination of topsoil and the ground up trees, and that's potting soil.
yeah. it all looks good. Said you've got to add some nutrients to it, any of it.
And the potting soil will become topsoil.
Yeah.
And the mulch will become
With the addition of
nothing.
nutrients?
Well,
Nothing.
over time,
It
if
will
this sits long
decompose.
enough, it'll look more like this. You can add some dirt to it, and it'll over time will look like that. It takes a good while to get it to that point. You can generally get mulch, compost, if you do it right, turn it regularly. I've got a little deal in the truck that somebody gave me one time, and it's for a garden, and it didn't really work very well in the garden, but it works great for burning. It works good for digging up the dirt, but
What was it intended?
this is what it was intended for. It's great. Compost, peat, vegetable. Don't ever put any meat in scrap. It'll attract rodents, number one, and it'll smell.
And maggots.
And maggots, yeah. Don't ever do that. But don't hesitate to put any raw vegetable in there. Hard cooked, table scraps is all right. I use grass clippings out of the yard, provided they're not full of weeds and weed seeds.
How about fish?
Fish, sure. I've never used it, but it'll decay very quickly. But I'm a little concerned about it attracting the same problem that any meat scrap would. Shrimp shells.
In a
Eggshells,
compost
yeah.
pile?
Absolutely. Eggshells adds calcium to the soil.
And coffee grind?
Coffee grounds, perfect.
Tea bag?
Tea bags, shredded newspaper. Shredded newspaper. Tear it up, put it in there. You'll be amazed at how quickly it'll rot.
And what is the nitrogen? Is that for manure? It's like
That-
horse manure
uh-huh.
or something?
This is cow. This over here is chicken. Those are probably the two that have. The chicken has the highest nitrogen content.
But they have to age, don't they?
You can't put what they call green manure. It'll burn the plant. It's too high in nitrogen. It's got besides the smell, but the composting process.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is probably a little more than we need. As I said, I would experiment, but get your pencil and paper and lay out what you like to eat, first of all. If you don't like tomatoes, don't plant tomatoes, although that's the most popular vegetable planted in the country. I like to do kind of an Italian garden with tomatoes, basil, I don't have any
Mozzarella.
oregano. What?
Mozzarella?
Yeah, mozzarella, mozzarella and pepperoni are a little hard to grow. Cucumber, all kinds of lettuce, just whatever works. I use a lot of basil because I love pesto, that won't be near enough for me because I'll freeze it and have it. But anyway,
How many plants do you consider a lot for a meal of the basil?
of the basil, it just depends on how well you like it. If you like it just to add to salads and
Well, in your case, you say
in my
you like
case,
a lot.
I'll do half a dozen. That's a lot of basil.
You said you freeze the basil, you freeze the pesto.
So, I've frozen basil, and it turns black. You freeze it, but it retains the taste fairly well.
You don't dry it first, huh?
Sometimes I'll dry it, but I have frozen it, but it'll turn black.
Okay, but so you're really referring to you make up your fresh pesto
Yeah.
and then you freeze your pesto. All right.
But a lot of herbs I do freeze, a lot of. Dill being one, here's dill right here, freeze that. Dry. I've got some dehydrated. And I'll dry a lot of fruits and vegetables and herbs. It's amazing how quickly that'll do. Moving right along, what we did next, and we'll come in here and put in a little more. We'll build this up to where it's almost to the height of the
Do
top
you
of the
pull
bed.
the weeds that are in there that you've turned over though?
Yes, absolutely. I would recommend not ever leaving a visible weed in there for a lot of reasons. Number one, if you water it, they can take roots that right there. Next thing you know, you'll be, and then it makes it hard. You try to plant a seed in there. It gets tough, particularly small seed.
Do you recommend laying down a landscape fabric and just put the plants in between it, or no?
I don't. I like to put a mulch on top of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't generally use the landscape fabric for. It's all right. I don't guess there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it doesn't. To me, it just kind of takes away a little bit of the organic feel of it.
If you're doing your compost at home, how can you tell when it's ready to use? Or is it always ready?
When it's taking your hand and you take a handful of it, and it'll be almost like that right there.
Okay,
That's what it'll look like.
alright.
We're going to do worm composting in a couple of weeks too.
If somebody wants to
They really
put
speed up
this
the
on there,
process.
we'll,
Oh, really?
we'll get started with that. I'm gonna hold off on that. But that's
They break down food in almost a day.
Really?
that's how the bed goes.
And now, if you did use worm,
So
how
just
long?
rip the bag more and then they'll just fall.
A couple months, yeah.
We're getting some coming. I'm guessing when we get to a certain point, it'll just
Yeah.
come off.
Is
Some people just bury their scraps right into the dirt, you know.
not going to plant seeds.
Was there a ratio that I missed before I got
Oh,
here?
wait, Robert, can you?
Oh,
Yeah,
an inch or two of that.
an inch or two of peat moss. So an inch or two of peat moss, an inch or two of the black manure, and then an inch or two of compost, like we
And
use
then just work that all in.
with the soil that's already there.
Right, that's all you.
Want me to beat that
The
again?
difference in that, when we started, that looked like this right here. Hard as a rock. There's not much you can grow in that. But that, a little water in there.
And it'll grow well.
Yeah. I like to have a garden that's fairly attractive.
Well, see, my mother's always accused me of having my hands in the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't know that I've learned yet.
But all you need to do, and then you just rake it down and dig it in. Dig that, there was a hole there, and
Right.
just dig that in,
Okay.
and then take a rake. I use this, most people have a regular garden rake. It's about, yay long.
Yeah.
Mines are a little smaller.
Yeah, Scott, look at this rake he's got.
I've had this thing forever. But,
Oh, the whole.
forever and ever, isn't it? Yeah, well, that's a long time when you're my age. But,
Oh, you're only as old as the conditions in the arteries.
yeah.
You know, they say you're only as old as the flexibility of your spine.
But my grandfather pretty well taught me everything I know in the way of gardening, and I've been gardening all my life. I grew up on a farm, but I haven't lived on a farm since I graduated from college. But
Tell us why you joined the CSA. That was a question I wanted to ask.
basically, I joined for the pure pleasure of getting my hands dirty. Sure, the produce is nice, and I enjoy it.
But you couldn't
But
do this at
I can
home?
buy the produce right over here.
Right.
But I do it strictly because I enjoy playing in the dirt. I'll admit it.
And you
know,
couldn't do this at home?
No, not on the scale, and my yard is very small. One thing that you may have to contend with, and it depends on each backyard. I've got a space behind me that's full of possums, raccoons, and I had a neighbor a couple of doors down that she was showing me she had this pineapple that she'd grown from where she'd cut the top off, and it had produced a pineapple about yay big, and it was just beginning to ripen. Came out in the yard one morning and it was half eaten, laying on the ground.
Yeah. Do you have a fence around your garden?
No, I don't. It's always, that'll avoid, if you can put a little fence up, about a chicken wire about 3 feet high is great. It'll keep away the rabbits and the squirrels.
Are there any plants that you can put? Because I know we used to put marigolds around the
Marigolds,
tomatoes.
and you can also, a lot of people recommend sprinkling hot pepper, ground up hot pepper around the edge of the garden.
To help keep the critters away.
Help keep
And the marigolds do what? For whom?
Marigolds attract pests,
They do?
not the insects, not necessarily critters, but they will. I've got some marigolds planted right down there at the end. I did that for 2 reasons. Number one, for appearance sake, but to show you if they come up and do all right, there's a good chance that they will never bloom. They may be eaten up first because they're plant. They just attract
The nematodes and
insects,
stuff,
and
right?
they're good for nematodes.
Yeah, so when the marigolds start dying, you pull them out and they bring all the nematodes out with them.
Right. What now?
What were they supposed to be good for? I never knew. I just heard that you
Yeah,
did that, so
that's-
I did it.
The
That's-
nematodes will go to their roots, and when it starts to die, you pull them out and you're pulling the nematodes out with them.
It keeps insects away from the vegetables. That's what it does. I just planted some zinnias down here.
I was watching a program once where they lined the bottom with like newspapers. Is that supposed to help keep the nematodes out?
I don't know. I've never done it. I don't know. Nematodes will invade most things. I don't know what it will or not.
I wonder if that or landscape fabric on the bottom would help.
I don't know.
Because it would be a bummer to be waiting all that time
Right.
and have everything just drop dead on you.
But we've got this now at a position to where we can do some planting. And as I said, you've laid out kind of what you want, decided that you want to put in, say, a couple of tomatoes. You might want peppers. I've got on this bed. Here's what I did. I'll show you what I've done already. It said on this, and on this right here, I planted the first row of zinnias, just for appearance purposes. We haven't hooked up a water source here yet, so I've got to get a connection on there. And I planted this Sunday. Well, I didn't have any way of watering it, so I came out, put a little sprinkler on it, and I put that down. See how that retained the moisture?
Yeah.
Well, check that every day, because if you leave it down too long, the plant starts sprouting, they'll die. But the first sign of anything coming through that ground, remove it. But it does help retain the moisture. And this is a row of basil. I've always put a little marker. I'm absent-minded. I can't remember what I did where. And that helps me tell me where it is, what time I planted it. I've got, that's for pepper. This is going to be, I'm going to put 3 bell pepper plants right in there. I've got 2 hills of cucumber right here. When they come up, I'll do a little kind of a trellis so they can grow up, because if they grow on the ground, they'll take over. They're just vining. I've got a zucchini here. I'm going to put an eggplant right here. I've got 2 yellow squash right here. I've got in between there, I started with a row of onions.
They're already coming up.
I would put something between virtually every one of these if it were fall. If I was putting a garden in the fall, I'd double up on my lettuce. I'd put in radishes, beets, carrots, spinach, anything that's quickly matures quickly. It doesn't matter, and can tolerate a little shade. And they'll be gone before the peppers and everything get up big enough to shade them.
What's left, if you were to plant this time of the year,
Mhm.
what can still mature enough before the heat starts killing?
I have planted eggplant, squash, beans, tomato, cucumber are fantastic. I have planted, I said, this is a row of onions right here, scallions. This is a white squash right here, those little round white squash. This is beets right here. See how the moisture is under there? That's a row of beets. We've got tomatoes. This is lettuce. Another row of tomatoes. And this is arugula. And then these are the marigolds. I might come back in, you know, if there's not seed that comes up right to the edge, I might plant a few more marigolds along the edge. What I thought, and that's just an idea. There's nothing set in concrete on what you plant and so forth. This fall, when we redo this, we'll plant something between every row. Tomatoes I plant about 2 feet apart in a row, 2 feet wide. Same way with squash. Same way with eggplant.
So they all need about a 2 foot square.
Right. Pepper I'll generally do a foot apart in a row 2 feet wide. Like that basil there. Lettuce, onions I'll plant about an inch and a half apart.
Radishes?
Radishes I'll plant about I guess about a quarter of an inch apart, something like that. It's easier to thin than it is to replant them. That's my philosophy on it. I always get lettuce too thick. I don't care when I plant it or where I plant it or what I plant. I get it too thick. Never fails. I end up.
You throw them away instead of transplanting them?
Yeah, lettuce just you'll end up damaging the plants you want to keep if you try to pull them up by the roots. Oftentimes I just clip them off it or pinch them off at the ground and let them go.
Put them in the compost.
Put them in the compost. Absolutely right. What I thought we would do here today, since we've already got tomatoes, pepper, we're waiting on it to mature a little bit more. Lolly is growing the pepper and the eggplant at home, and when it gets a little bit bigger, we'll transplant it into here. I like for it to have two, if you do growing it from seed, to have true leaves, 2 sets of true leaves on it before you transplant it. We transplanted a lot of stuff here last fall that was too small, and it didn't help that it came a major flood after we planted it, but still they were still awfully small.
They only had the first set of leaves, which
right.
weren't the true leaves.
And the true leaves looked entirely different. I had these, I may have a tomato plant still in the car. Let me show you. Bother seed. If you do plant the seed, start them 6 to 8 weeks before you anticipate planting in your garden. But look right here on this plant. When that vine comes up, that's what the leaves look like. Those are not true leaves. These are what a true tomato leaf looks like. And when that gets that second set, see, this is starting its third set of leaves right here. It's big enough and strong enough to survive in the garden.
When you transplant those, do you bury that first set of leaves? Or
In
is that
fact,
too
I
deep?
would wish I had buried those a little deeper than I do. On a tomato plant, bury it.
That's one of the few plants that it'll
exactly.
root along its whole
Exactly.
length.
Right. You plant this tomato.
Now peppers don't do that though, do they?
Peppers don't do that. So you plant that. I'll come in there, put water in there, let that water soak in before I put any soil back in it. I've got some. I'm going to plant some whole beans here. We're going to use that. As I said, beans typically we can't do very well in a garden like this, but take these beans right here, and I'm going to make a teepee, a pole for them to grow on. I'll come in here.
This is what we're going to do at the end of the corn?
That's what we're going to do in the corn. most corn, beans, most seeds you should plant about 4 times the depth of the seed. If the seed is corn and beans and things like that, generally about an inch. Squash, about an inch deep. Lettuce, most of the radishes, all that sort of stuff, about 1/4 of an inch is what you need to plant it. And that's why, and then just barely cover it. But I'll come in here with a couple of those, just like that, beans. And since that's so dry, I'm going to put in a little water in them too. And then come over, do the same thing.
Beans.
These,
Green beans?
these are green
Pole
pole beans.
beans.
They're Blue Lake pole beans. Now then, when those seeds come up, if they all survive, I'll pull out the worst one and let one in each hole. And then when they get up about so high, I'll come in with, show it as the season progresses. I'll put stakes at each one of these, like that, and then bring it up in a teepee fashion and tie it at the top. And what we did Sunday when we planted some corn, we planted it mechanically, but if you were going to plant it manually, all you'll do is just about an inch deep, about 1 foot apart. But I also had some, this is some Italian fat leaf parsley. It may be too late to plant it, but we're going to try it a little bit. These are something I thought the kids would enjoy, and adults too for that matter. These are asparagus beans, or they're yard-long beans, some people call them. They're a green bean, but I've seen them that long. And they're incredible, and they have a good taste.
Does asparagus grow in Florida?
No, asparagus, it's very, very difficult to get asparagus to grow in Florida. It doesn't get cold enough. It needs that because asparagus, it needs the cold weather. There's just some things, melons don't grow good in the bed. They grow great out in the field, but in a bed like this, they just take up too much space. But as I said, you can maybe find a bush melon that you might, if you particularly like melons, or you want your kids to see what a watermelon looks like growing, and you put them out here. Plant one in the backyard and see what happens. You can take this bed and put a couple of melons in. The biggest problem with any vining crop is it tends to flow out into the yard. It's hard to mow around. It makes it very difficult. But I'm going to do these.
Does the wind have much of a factor for the direction?
Yes, and sun. I mentioned Sunday that I like to plant the tallest. If I'm doing a garden like this, north to south, I'll plant the tallest growing plant in the summertime on the west side of the bed. That way it gets all the sun, but it protects the smaller plants from some of the afternoon heat. And it doesn't shade. The morning sun is by far the best sun. And the small plants don't shade the large plants, but the large ones shade the small. Wind, like an eggplant, I'm going to put in an eggplant, but if an eggplant gets up yay high and starts getting a good sized eggplant on it, it tends to fall over if you don't stake it. Once I stake these, I'll probably, at the end of the bed, put a string to anchor it on each end. I'll show you. But you can plant basically anything that you want to plant. See, that's a white seeded bean. This is a dark seeded bean. It has no difference in the taste. It's just and I'll thin these out once they come up to where they stand about 4 to 6 inches apart. But it's just dry weather we're experiencing right now. Sometimes they don't sprout as well. If you're going to plant parsley, you want to plant it like rosemary, at the end of a garden where you won't disturb it. Because rosemary will live for several years. Parsley will live for 2 years. It's called a biennial. And you plant it now, you'll get some parsley later on. And it'll come back next spring and then die. And it won't come back. It'll do 2 years. So plant it to where you don't disturb it for that first year. Most herbs are annuals. They will, and I don't know, Susan's got an annual herb here, and I'm glad she got it because I wasn't familiar with it at all. It's stevia, and it's the new sweetener, which I've used, and I like it. But I didn't know even what the plant looked like, or where it came from.
Why is it new? Why
I
is
don't
it a
know.
new sweetener?
It's new to us, I'll put it that way.
South America, isn't it?
Well, people just didn't know it was a sweetener until now. All of a sudden, it's herbs even are becoming more popular. I mean, nobody even knew what echinacea was 10 years ago.
I thought it was a flower. You put it in your flower garden.
Right? Yeah. Right. Coneflowers.
Coneflowers, right. Always read and pretty well follow directions if you're buying a plant on how to space it, where to plant it. Most herbs love the sun. This one says full sun, height 12 inches, spread 18 inches.
So how do you use that?
Well, as a sweetener, you just
I mean, you just actually you throw a leaf in something if you want to sweeten it up?
Yep.
I
You could dry them and turn it into a powder if you want.
Huh.
But if you get it and it's white, it means they did something to it because it should be green.
Huh.
Okay.
This is another type. This is a cinnamon basil.
Cinnamon basil.
Cinnamon basil. We're going to put that in here. I don't think we're going to plant a tomato in there since
Now, the lavender is really just for the scent, right?
Well,
No,
actually, lavender is also a sedative. But I got it, to show people what lavender looks like and
So
smells like.
I should get my sister, have my nephew chew on this and calm him down.
It's very strong tasting.
I mean, I know a lot of I like the aroma.
It's very strong tasting, but yeah, it's used for sleeping.
If you're planting this,
Does this have an aroma by itself?
Yeah, smell it.
Yeah.
Smell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know if you had to like potpourri it or.
No,
you know.
no.
Never seen any lavender around.
Most of the pots
I want to see how well it will do.
come like this. These are biodegradable so that you can plant the pot.
Yeah, I like those.
We need a knife or scissors or a pen. A pen?
I don't know. Maybe I can poke a little start going in
I
there.
got some scissors in the thing in the car.
It's amazing how strong a thin piece of plastic can be.
Exactly.
Modern technology, it'll last forever in the oceans.
Right.
I would
yeah.
normally, if this were just like that lavender, take the plastic off and plant the whole pot in all.
Right.
But since there's several plants in here,
Oh
I'm going to take this out of the pot. Just like such. That came out perfectly. Put that right in there. And since it said plant them about 18 inches apart, we'll do that.
Right down to about the same level it was?
Yeah,
in the pot, right?
so, but these plants you would plant just about the depth they come out.
That's right.
I want this one very,
Let me try that again.
yeah, you did a good job on that.
See if I can do it without sticking again.
All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Since this one we've never seen before, most of it,
Yeah.
I'm going to plant it at the end. So we can...
Well, if it's a sweetener, what are the chances it's going to survive the bunny rabbits? Huh?
Well, they're eating the
thing.
marshmallow over there, so.
A marshmallow?
The marshmallow plant.
A marshmallow plant.
Yes. It's actually used for gangrene, and it's a mucilaginous, like soothing, coating for. It's an anti-inflammatory.
So like for abrasions or cuts or stuff?
More internal,
Oh, internal.
but it will pull gangrene out of the body.
So, but you can't put it. You don't put it on sweet potatoes.
No.
I thought so too.
That is where the original marshmallow came from. It was the roots.
Turn the
Oh, really? Oh, it is. Oh, that's right. I
They
have heard about
soak
that.
the roots. I talked to you about that and that herb.
Feel free to ask
Thing.
any questions.
But
Yeah, I
the
know all
rabbits
the
or whatever, they love that. They eat all the leaves nonstop, and that's okay. Nobody's gonna eat them, but I was gonna plant more.
As long as
So
it keeps them away from the other stuff.
yeah.
So I know those. Are those strawberries still growing?
Oh yeah.
Because I
haven't
I
even
always
hit
see
their
those.
peak
I
yet.
always see those nibbled on. Last time I was.
Oh yeah. You gotta
you
pick
do
them
your thing
before
again on
something
that
else
one.
eats them.
And this one. Now, I've got my water right over here.
What is that that you're just
Fernleaf dill.
This one here?
That's lemon thyme.
And when you don't know, when you plant it, always put that little marker there so you'll know what you've got. I planted stuff, and 6 months later I didn't know what I had.
I remember Susan marking all those little sticks at the beginning of this, and the water washed all the.
Oh right.
See what I did right over
All the seed trays. It just got washed off right away. It was supposed to be permanent marker. All of them were gone.
the sun bleached it, just the water.
The water. They had drip water over them. All the, we didn't know what anything was. They're all the seed trays.
Okay.
That was
So you're just putting a little bit of water. You're not
Yeah, I don't
That
bet.
other
You know,
stuff.
I don't bet
Permanent
around
doesn't work. What do you use?
It happened
Just
the
to
same
let-
day.
help
You must have to do it like the day
put a
before
little
to
more in
soak
some-
We
in
found
your
some
body.
markers that were better than the others,
Blue
but
flag for this baby.
It's right.
Oh,
yeah,
there.
this-
Oh,
within the first watering it was gone.
Does
Yeah.
anyone have any questions? What about?
Can you? Is there a place to buy chicken manure?
Yes, actually at Diamond R.
Valerie's calling
Where is it?
In Fort Pierce, I was just there today. They sell it by the bag
What is it called?
for $14.95 for 40 pounds. It's
Because they
called,
say that's about the best. That's really good to have. That's already been cured, right? You don't have to go through that 2 or 4 days worth of nasty.
yeah, here it is. It's 422 NPK chicken
Okay.
poultry litter process.
Yeah, I'm never going to be down to Fort Pierce.
That's the one on 58th, right?
Well, I was saying actually, if a bunch of people wanted to have backyard gardens, you know, maybe we could like pool resources, get truckloads, and you know, split it up that way. Because even these samples of soil, they came in big mounds. That you know, I'll compare prices on buying it by the bag, but
I'll generally tamp lightly and press that bean into the soil.
Susan, what was the name of the place that you bought it?
I didn't buy it. I was just pricing stuff. It was called Diamond R.
Diamond R.
The letter R.
Is it located?
It's in Fort Pierce.
Until Monsanto gets away and patents everything that you can eat. I am so pissed off. I am me too. I watched this program, but they're having a real problem with Monsanto in Hawaii because it's there is no reasonable human being that can say, if Monsanto stands up and says, well, we take every reasonable precaution to make sure it doesn't cross-pollinate. You can't do that outside.
No.
I don't care who you are.
Right.
Unless you're God Almighty Himself and you can keep that little
The
dome of
wind.
wind over
Yeah,
you.
you can't control the
You know,
wind.
it's guaranteed to infect heirloom crops. But and then after that, why doesn't the lawsuit work the other way around? Why isn't it Monsanto gets sued for ruining an heirloom crop instead of the farmer growing their patented product that he never wanted in the first place?
Money. They have more money to fight it.
That's it.
I mean, it's pure insanity to even consider such a thing. It's insanity. It goes beyond.
Yeah, they can drag it out, and the farmer ends up running out of money. He can't continue the fight.
But it's the judges that let him get away with it. All it takes is a few rulings of
Because
of
they're on the payroll.
They get paid.
Yeah,
I think in this case, if enough people get the message out there.
and I looked who was in the House and the Senate, and I'm nobody's constituent. They're on the west. That one woman, she's in Tampa, and then there's another senator, and I don't know, they're not in my district. Does that mean they don't listen?
Why would you not?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, what district they call it. I mean, I live in Sebastian, but I just, you know, they.
Because there was a site that you could go to and it would tell you.
Honestly.
Well, I was there, but nobody that's on the board for this is.
Well, he's gonna
around
put
here.
water in there first.
They're not
Well,
from.
Nelson and Tina.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, aren't they?
They plant, don't start
Well, they're in,
seed, but
right,
they
Vero,
plant.
or. I
Are
think
they on it?
District 15.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if they're
No,
on it
they,
or not.
who wants
I mean, their names were mentioned, but I don't know if they're actually on the.
No, they're not. There's nobody. I mean, there's people, but nobody from around here. Like
When you're-
Debbie Wasserman Schultz is
When you're
signed
planting
the
a
bill.
plant like this that already has soil around it, just plant it to the depth of the plant of the what you took it out of.
You want to plant
That's tomato.
No, I don't think we have room for it really.
Oh, there's always room for more tomatoes. Come on. How about that corner?
That's one of the things that backyard gardeners tend to do, is plant too much stuff.
Oh, sure.
And too much stuff, it's a waste of time because it'll get real spindly and won't produce.
I'll tell you what. After tasting that, I had one or two, couple of heads of broccoli. I mean, it takes a lot of space. I'm gonna find something that looks good with bushes.
Well, he was saying you missed earlier.
That broccoli was awesome.
He's got a smaller one that will produce a bigger head than what we have.
Wait, what about me again?
Broccoli that will take up less space and make a bigger head.
I've got to find the name of it.
Oh yeah,
I'll give it to
that
Susan.
stuff was just awesome. It just
'Cause
blows
the
anything away that you buy in the
traditional
store.
We
that you plant in the fall will oftentimes come out with one big head like such. And if you leave it, little shoots will form, but I generally end up cutting it down and plant something else because I don't like to, I'm too impatient to wait for it to develop. But
and you can also eat the leaves. They taste just like the collards or the cabbage.
and a salad?
Yeah, or however you want to do it, juice them or steam them or whatever. They taste the same.
on the broccoli, I do a little stir fry with a little garlic and oil, and the leaves are just as good as.
Yeah, so
Is this? Yeah.
That's the deal. That's a whole row.
it's kind of like growing collards, but you get the advantage of the broccoli flower with it.
Yeah, but once you take that one off, you just get a couple of little things, but nothing.
Nothing
It's pretty much a
Those are
one-shot
the-
deal.
Those are the florets.
The problem with this broccoli, it's good. It tastes, but it takes so much
Yes,
space.
it does. 3 feet.
Exactly, and that's just not. You do about 4 of them in here, and that's all you can put in. Those broccoli.
And takes 4 months to produce.
Yeah.
Oh, that long. Oh, gee.
Yep, for sure.
If you do this in your backyard and say, my husband normally works fertilizer grass a couple times a year. Is there any fertilizers that you can use and still?
Oh, yeah, that one Milorganite is for lawn and garden. It's organic. They sell it at Walmart. Milorganite, actually what it is human waste that they've turned into,
It's a little scary.
yeah, out of Milwaukee. But that's for lawn and garden.
Oh.
Anything from
Oh,
China.
It's still
that's
organic?
company.
It's organic.
That's kind of how we get salmonella and spinach too.
But yeah, at least for your lawn, if you don't want to do it on your vegetables, it's for lawn. Let's just say for lawn.
Yeah. But there is an organic fertilizer now available. We were talking about that earlier. There is an organic fertilizer out that Miracle Grow puts out, and you can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Walmart. And it says organic, and it's made strictly rather than chemicals. Organic.
And it's pellets.
It's a fine. It's I think
Grain.
it's like a slow release type stuff. Yeah.
And would you mix that into the soil first?
As you're planting, right?
Before we did this part, you would have mixed it
I'd
in.
mix a little bit in, and then on tomatoes, I'd put a little bit, just a little bit under each hill, or each plant. Any plant that you're transplanting, like pepper or eggplant. On the watering, I recommend, if at all possible, water. If you're going to get the leaves wet, water in the morning. That way, it gives them a good chance to dry out during the day. If you watered it late in the afternoon, they tend to stay wet, particularly things like tomatoes, squash, eggplant, are very susceptible to mildew. dry at night.
And what about the schedule of fertilizing these?
Fertilizer, you can kind of look at the plant. If the plant is thriving, don't worry about it. If you see it begin to yellow a little bit or slow down in growth, I would fertilize at least under any circumstances once a month. But if it starts showing a little bit of a lack of growth or just not as healthy as you, dark green, every 2 weeks.
Soaker hose seems to be the way to go, though, eh?
Soaker hose is well, it's not only do you conserve the water, that's the biggie,
The leaves don't get wet.
but the leaves don't get wet. But the biggie is conserving water. You'll do amply on this bed right here, where if you turn the sprinkler on it, it'll take 4 or 5 times the water. And if the only source of water you've got is tap water, use it. I would prefer to use rainwater or some other source of water other than.
What about well water isn't necessarily a good thing either because it's sulfur.
Yeah, I would use it.
I mean, I have an artesian well, so.
I would
But you
use
can still smell some of that sulfur.
The sulfur, there's not enough sulfur in it. It smells a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Because for me, that's a really convenient way of watering anything I put
As
in.
long as it's not softened, because then it would have salt.
Right. No, when I say salt, I mean there's sodium in water just from migration from the oceans. I mean, there's that guy Mikko. He reverse osmosis his water because he says there's too much salt in it for his tomatoes.
Yeah, there's usually too much calcium in artesian wells, which raises the pH. So if you have
calcium too.
acidic,
Calcium in this garden is extremely high.
yeah, it's 3,600,
Oh, so
over 3,600 parts.
Oh, that's bad thing.
Because tomatoes
Okay.
want it acidic.
Okay.
Different things want it acidic, like 5.8, and that's like 9, a 9, pH of a 9.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's rain
So
purpose.
actually, ocean water, if you diluted it to 60 to 1, you know, has all the minerals, not just 3. It has 90, and that's, you know, I'm going to try to figure that out.
Whatever happened to that experiment you had going over there?
It's over there?
Yeah, with the
It's
salt,
still there.
the seawater.
Well, that won. Diluted ocean water
It did?
outdid rainwater, even though it actually had a more alkaline pH because of the minerals.
Really?
And you
It was
mentioned
better.
that you like
Okay.
to mulch.
So that's easy enough for me to.
Yeah, like
you know,
dilute
get.
it 60 to 1.
Right,
60
okay.
to 1.
What about using
Tomatoes,
seaweed in the
peppers,
compost?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a way to harvest seaweed where you soak the salt out of it for, I think, 5 days. You leave it in a bucket of water and soak
And you
it.
still get the good even though you're
There's
throwing
so many
away the...
varieties, but
Yeah, you need to get that salt. If you just put direct ocean water, direct salt, the plant will die that day.
Well, I'm just wondering about in the compost.
Pine
Kind
straw.
Oh, well, there's a way. I have a book all about that.
breaking it down.
Yeah, there's definitely a way, and we should be utilizing that instead of buying fertilizer. Absolutely. No, absolutely. There's a way. Actually, I don't have
seaweeds in
Any
water
mulch,
for 5 days, and then you dry it, and that's it?
everything
well,
from
I'll email you the thing. I
cotton seeds.
don't have the I printed a
soybean
page off
seed,
about it, but
meal.
I took it out of my car this
So
morning.
basically, that's what it is.
Yeah, you kind of are soaking it off,
You can find
soak off the
sometimes
salt,
at the store.
and then
But
you
so
could.
We're going to use this.
But let me get you the details because you
I'd
don't
just
want
get
to
a bunch
kill
of
your
it, throw it in
plant.
your washing machine and let it run.
But
for a
ocean
cycle.
water, 60 to 1, that's a definite. That outperformed every source of water. We did a science project on
And
that.
that's the reason the tap water is bad. Is over time, it won't hurt anything the first year, but over time you'll build up a salt content in the
A
soil.
salt content from.
Yeah, chlorine.
Well, if you drop the chlorine.
Filter out the chlorine, that's all right.
Now, doesn't chlorine also
Reverse
evaporate out?
osmosis is the third best.
Really?
Diluted ocean water
But
was
now, what about?
best.
But
then-
reverse osmosis is missing all the minerals, so you have to put something back in, right?
Well, in the experiment, we just did the waters.
Oh.
Yeah, rainwater was second, reverse
I
osmosis
don't
third.
worry about, you're not going to get a whole lot of minerals in any kind of water. You run it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
I'm
what you
more
got in the
concerned
soil.
About not damaging the soil and providing the moisture
Right.
than I am about the mineral content of the water. I can put the minerals back in the soil. Manures and compost and mulch and mulch will deteriorate over time. And just incorporate that back into the soil.
What do you think about trying to get worms to live in your garden?
Great.
But they'd most likely leave.
Oh, I can tell you from my aunt's experience, because my aunt is awesome and their garden just naturally is full of worms. The worms know where to go. They discovered the garden and they just bred like crazy in it.
Is this in Florida?
No, this is up in Rockford, Illinois.
That's a good
Illinois,
sign of
Illinois
good
is
soil.
fine. Here,
Yeah, they do show
If
up.
you don't find worms migrating to your soil in your garden, it's missing something, some organic matter. But if you have a lot of earthworms in the soil of your garden, you got good soil.
And if you put them in and they leave, that's a problem too.
You got bad soil. Right.
Something's wrong. So there's your little test. You can put like an outgoing clear cylinder with a hole. That's their only way out. And if you see them in there, they tried to escape.
That's what
Okay.
it is right there. Actually, that's what that is right there. But where it seeps out, water seeps out rather than the sprinkler is very effective, except that it wastes so much water. And,
You don't have to put any holes in the side of this, so it just goes out the bottom, right, the water.
those boards.
There's
about
no
half rotten
bottom.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you cover off the garden the summer with clear plastic for a month?
If I were growing tomatoes, yes, in the
Okay.
soil, because we were talking about that, and there's some pros and cons on that. But because of the plastic and what's in the plastic. But if you're going to grow tomatoes for very long in Florida, you're going to get nematodes.
Right.
And the best way to get rid of nematodes is by cooking them with the
But
plastic.
not black.
No, no.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to put dark
Well,
plastic on it.
yeah, I guess it does because that.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard
I
about
think
that.
too much damage.
I've always used
Sterilized.
light plastic.
Clear.
Huh. Okay.
What it does, it retains its heat in the soil and it just goes right into it. That's
So
all.
why would black plastic be bad?
I think there's a chemical makeup of black plastic
Oh,
that's
okay.
totally different from the
Yeah,
other.
Plant City strawberries, we saw them in person. They're all covered with black plastic.
Really?
But they're not organic.
Yeah, they're not organic. We videotaped them spraying all their chemicals. So would you put mulch over the top now? I mean, like straw?
This is ready, as soon as the beans come up, ready for mulch. You can put some mulch right around this stuff to retain
And you
moisture.
just use that stuff over there?
I've got a wheelbarrow. I'll go get
Yep,
sometime
that's-
one of these days. The tomatoes are ready for mulch. Don't put the mulch right up against the stalk. That invites insects.
Is there any mulch you shouldn't use?
Other than rubber tires.
Because the whole point is just to help keep the moisture,
Exactly. That's the
and don't let it get too. Nothing that's going to keep the heat in it. It's got to breathe.
Right. A lot of people have said I've used it and it works. Put down a layer of shredded newspaper.
Yeah.
Or even just whole. I've done that and I haven't had weeds for 2 years.
What do you put down?
Just sheets of newspaper and cover them with mulch and no weeds
yeah,
come
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And that lasts 2
You
years.
can use peat moss tends to, when it dries out, it blows all over the place. So something a little heavier, mulch.
Yeah, I definitely say put newspaper underneath it.
But you're starting with a different dirt anyways, too. Right, I guess.
Yeah, most of us have to enrich soil in our backyards if we're going to grow anything decent. Because the worst thing you can do is start a garden and get all enthused about it, and it doesn't do anything. You lose interest. Forget it. It's too much trouble.
Ours is going like crazy, but I'm just worried about the nematodes because it's the first time.
Well, don't plant them back in the same spot next year.
But I've got to get one of these at my husband's.
Well, he
You got
said
it
like
all in-
reverse the
you got it
tomatoes
all
at the
tomato-
opposite end.
Yeah.
Is it mostly a tomato issue with the nematodes and not at other plants?
Their other tomatoes are worse.
Yeah.
That's the worst nematode problem of any vegetable that I know
That
of.
is nasturtium.
But pepper will get it over time, not as bad. Squash will get it. But there's a lot, most any plant that has a fairly fat root will get nematodes over time. But,
How about root vegetables? That's not the same
they
thing.
don't stay in the ground long enough.
Okay.
They have other problems. Carrots and beets and potatoes and stuff like that have other problems, but of insects boring into the worm.
Are any of those other carrots?
Is it too late
How are
to
those
plant
carrots that were
potatoes?
planted doing?
I think it is.
Well, there's
Wait
been like
fall.
4 batches, so.
They've got
I'm
some
not
that's
sure
coming
which
up right
one,
over
but-
there, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, because
to see
I've
what they
I've
do.
missed one day here, which was probably
It was all
2.5
this whole
or
row
3
of
weeks ago
potatoes.
now.
right here. And they've already died down and
So,
been dug.
Give me a minute. Let's got 1 minute to
But I would plant, do some things, if you haven't gardened before, do some things that seem to have easily grown. Tomatoes, maybe a little pepper, maybe some herbs, and just don't get overboard. Do one small bed to start with. If it's successful, if you like it, expand it. But that's the worst thing you can do, is do too much at once and lose your enthusiasm.
Do you have any questions? Around, underneath?
But that's,
I just know that if you're going to do it in your backyard, you have to do it like this.
I'm of the
Because
opinion you
our soil is so sandy that this will all sink and the sand will come up.
We've got hard pan.
What'll sink?
They messed
This
up.
has got
This will
hard
sink
pan
and the
in?
sand will come up.
You mean if you just
Now,
try
this is
putting
basically
dirt
what we
on
did.
the ground
Except
as opposed to
my
raising it?
husband's doing potting soil.
Oh, really?
I would never
Organized.
try to grow anything in my backyard that wasn't in a container or in a raised bed.
Yeah.
It just, I'll guarantee you, you might luck out occasionally, but most times it's going to be a failure. First of all, the soil's so sandy, the water just goes right down and hits. Then when it does really rain, you get a lot of rain, you hit that hard pan, and the roots suffocate because water just stands there and it soak into that hard pan. But this fall, hopefully this is going to work out. This fall, we're really going to do it up right.
I got one more question. Are moles a problem?
They are in my backyard. Fortunately, they haven't gotten to my garden.
Yeah, I mean, I saw one. I think I saw this on a program. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it was worms, the worm composting that they were talking about, or a garden. But they said take some chicken wire, lay that down first. Just helps keep those ground type critters from coming up into your.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Probably bury it about 6 inches.
Well, it's like you started at the bottom. You lay down your, chicken wire,
Oh, yeah,
stake
yeah,
it down, then you build
On the
your
bottom.
box around it,
Yeah,
and then you
that's
start
what
filling
I'm
it with dirt.
Yeah, that would work. You was talking about putting newspaper down underneath?
Yeah, and put your chicken wire down, then probably your newspaper, and then